While the White House appears to disavow Gruber's choice of words, Press Secretary Josh Earnest firing back at Republicans when pressed by our own Ed Henry.
To suggest that voters are stupid and that's how you passed it, you don't feel bad about that at all?
I disagree vigorously with that assessment, I think is what I would say. I think the fact of the matter is this was a very difficult undertaking. But ultimately, this is a law that has had significant benefits for millions of people. It is Republicans who have been less than forthright and transparent about what their proposed changes to the Affordable Care Act would do in terms of the choices that are available to middle-class families.
Peter, what do you make of the response from the White House there?
Can you ask me that a little bit slower? Because I am a voter, and I think some people think that means that I'm stupid.
Yeah.
What's the White House supposed to say? You know, they don't have any elections coming up anytime soon. The guy who lives there isn't on the ballot, but they can't make it seem like they duped the whole world.
Which is, Andrea, isn't that what happened here? I mean, didn't they deliberately deceive the American people, as Gruber states in those 3 videos that he calls slip of the tongue?
They did, and they revealed what most liberals think about Americans, that they are stupid. But I have to ask, Republicans need their heads examined on this one. They're holding hearings on Gruber saying that the American people are stupid. That is exactly what they should not be holding hearings on, things that we already know. Sandra, as you know, the Supreme Court decided to hear the case of whether or not the subsidy law was written so that if states didn't take up an exchange, they wouldn't get the subsidies.
Right.
If Republicans were really savvy, they would haul Gruber up. They would ask him under oath, was that you in the video? And did you intentionally write the law, which he says in the video, that way? If he admits that, Sandra, under oath, Justice Kennedy would have a very hard time arguing different. And if the Supreme Court overturns that provision, the entire law could go down. That's what Republicans need to be thinking about.
Can I just say that if that happens, you know, we actually paid this guy nearly $500,000 to perpetrate a fraud. I want my money back. I mean, seriously, I want my money back. If that's him on tape, and we know it is, and if we took him before the court, as you said, I want my money back. And by the way, Mr. MIT genius couldn't help the administration figure out how to do a website that could register more than 9 people.
Right.
Hello.
But what's the point of hauling him up to ask him about that? Well, you want to ask him something that testimony under oath could actually be applicable in a court of law. And I would also ask, would those lawyers for the administration have to withdraw their brief?
All right,
that would be huge.
Well, I think the administration would probably say he was one consultant, right? That probably would say he's not the person who made all the ultimate decisions. He was somebody who just, you know, this is his perspective. It's not the perspective of other people. So I don't know if it would work unless you find other people who worked on it, other people in the who work in the administration, you know, who are willing to admit this. I think he clearly was central, and it's probably reflective of what people think. But how can you prove that? Right? I mean, you have to be able to prove that other people.
So, Kirsten, do you think anybody should be held accountable based on the words that we've heard come out of Gruber?
Yeah, I mean, and it's just another one. This gets so old talking about the media, but, you know, this has not been covered by anybody other than if you just accidentally stumbled onto Fox News, if you usually watch, you know, MSNBC or CNN, I know this is big news to you, you know, because truly it's not getting covered by anybody. And this is huge news.
It's not even in the New York Times.
Yeah, it's really, it's really stunning, you know. This is really big news, and you know, sometimes these are gray areas that you can say, well, maybe you can kind of see why this wouldn't get covered.
Yeah, no.
There's no excuse for this.
Do you know how it was uncovered? It was uncovered by one of our stupid private citizen taxpayers who was upset that he was dumped off of his insurance plan, and he decided himself to go and look at tapes and uncovered this.
It's incredible.
It's an incredible story.
Yeah, I think he lives with his parents and he's just viewing all these videos.
I think he should run the New York Times.
I think so.
Yeah, and it would be one thing if he had said it one time, but I mean, his tongue slips a lot. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? Like, this is
the administration's probably very nervous on how they handle him. He's like a ticking time bomb. Let's not make him upset. Handle with care.